that a lot of us I've heard that, oh, AI is going to take your job as a data analyst and all of that. But right here, Tenalytics wants to show you how you can use Excel and Claude AI to optimize sales for a travel agency as an AI data analyst. That's really intriguing because while some people are really scared that AI is going to take their jobs, we are showing you how you can incorporate AI into your workflow and the importance of that. So this is going to be practical, right? You get to see the magic, right, of a data analyst and how they can incorporate AI into the workflow or the processes of a data analyst. So who's bringing this session for you? Absolutely, Tenalytics. And who is Tenalytics? What do we do? Who are we basically, right? So we're a leading educational technology company, and we've been doing this for a little over 5 years now, right? In this phase of time, we've been able to help over 2,855 plus people transition from the classroom to their jobs in tech, to their first jobs in tech. Think about it. From classroom, that is from learning, from being absolute beginners into their first job in tech, right? Across the UK, US, Canada, and the likes, all right? So we've been doing this and we're committed to, making the technology sector more accessible. And we're just focused on 8 experiential programs, right? That will be the data analytics, which is the reason why we're here today, the business analysis, the data engineering, the data science, the financial analytics, the HR analytics, the agile project management, the cybersecurity, as well as the AI engineering program, which is on its way, right? So how are we able to train? It's to ensure that we have a team of instructors that are well versed, right? Well knowledgeable, so that every investment you make by coming to learn with us, yields effortlessly, right? You get to learn, you get to pick their brains, you get to work on real world projects. You're literally learning from people that have walked the talk and you're gaining experience that way. All right. So this is who we are at Analytics, and what are we here to do today? So the first thing we'll do is to see how to optimize sales as an AI data analyst, right? The second thing we get to talk about is how you can get started immediately. So I'm pretty sure you'll get wowed by the first practical session, and then you begin to wonder, how can I get started? Not to worry, we'll run you through how you can get started immediately. Then we'll also talk to you about the Analytics Growth Internship Program and our special discount offer to you, right? So this is my humble self, Priscilla. I'll be your host for today alongside my colleague, and I'm a passionate educator, as well as a data expert and career strategist, right? Right now, I'm a growth catalyst at Analytics, and guess what I do? Help people transition into tech. You see that $1 million question that people tend to ask, which tech career path suits me? What I do right now is help people decide on the tech career path that is most suitable for them, right? So my expertise spans across being a freelance data analyst, a crypto educator, a technical support personnel, a tech career coach, basically. This is who I am. And right about now, I'm going to hand the mic over or yield the mic to my colleague Stanley on the call. So Stanley is going to be taking us through the technical aspect, the practical aspect in very simple and easy to follow steps. So if you know somebody that should be here today to come learn, how to do sales optimization as a data analyst, just send them the link, right? And on the call, my colleague is going to be sending an attendance form. The reason why you want to fill that attendance form is just because we're going to be sharing tips here today, really, really interesting tips. And that if you fill the form, you're going to get access to the materials, to the slides as well. So we're going to kick off today. And if you're ready to go, please leave a yeah in the chat. If you're ready to go, if you're ready to learn, if you're ready to see how you can do sales optimization as a data analyst, an AI data analyst, please leave a yeah in the chat. Absolutely. So we're good to go. So my colleague Stanley is just going to pick it up from here right away. Hi, Stanley. Can you hear me? Hello, Stanley.
Yeah, I can hear you. How
How
are
are you
you,
doing
Priscilla?
today? Very well. Please go ahead.
Doing very, very well. All right. So just give me a moment while I share my screen. Okay. So if you can see my screen, just give me a yeah. All right. Okay, so just like Priscilla rightly mentioned, my name is Stanley, and I will be taking you on what we are going to be doing today. I mean, today we are going to create magic. We are going to see the real use of AI as an AI data analyst. So, just a brief intro about myself. I have a lot of experience in Python, in SQL, Tableau, Power BI, and Excel. And my experience spans through, marketing, healthcare, retail, and even in edtech, where I've been able to teach and take on up to 1,000 professionals in data analysis. I'm talking about taking on professionals. Today, we are going to be doing something amazing. We are going to be looking at how we can use Excel and AI, most preferably Claude AI, to optimize sales of a travel agency. All right. So without wasting much time, let's just get straight into what we have today. Okay. So let us get straight into what we have. So before we even get started, I would like to hear your thoughts. I'd like to hear you guys. So go to the chat box and tell me, have you ever used AI in your day-to-day life, your day-to-day activities? I want to know from you guys, how have you been able to use AI? And even if you've not been able to use AI, let me know how or when you'll be able to use AI. If you've not been able to use AI, you can also just let me know on the chat box. So just let me know. I would like to hear from you. Have you ever used AI in your day-to-day life, in whatever you do in life? Let's say in marketing, in research, in creating reports, and so on. I want to hear you guys. Okay, some are saying yes, and some are saying every time. Some are saying, yeah, yeah, good. So I want to know, have you ever used AI? I mean, AI, the world is now we are in the world of AI right now. And I want to know who has been able to use AI in their day-to-day life. And if you have not been able to use AI to let me know, let me know also. Okay, I'm seeing some comments on the comment section, and I'm seeing a mixture of yes or no. So now, whether you've used AI or you've not used AI, today is going to be an eye-opener, sort of, where we can also show more things that AI can do, right? And today we're going to be looking at the field of data analytics. So we want to see how a data analyst can be able to leverage AI to do so many things to make their work faster and every other thing. Okay, so let's just get started. Let's get started. So first of all, who is an AI data analyst? That will probably be the first question you ask yourself. Who is an AI data analyst? So an AI data analyst is a professional who combines the traditional data analysis skills, I mean the Excel, the SQL, the Power BI, and Python, together with some artificial intelligence tools. I mean, by artificial intelligence tools, I mean the Claude AI, ChatGPT, the Copilot, and so on, the Gemini, and so on. So, an AI data analyst is someone who has been able to combine the traditional data analysis skills with artificial intelligence tools to collect, clean, analyze, and interpret data faster, generate insights, debug problems and queries, and recommend smarter business decisions that drive growth. This is very, very, very important. Okay, I know the question that will be on everybody's lips here is AI going to take our jobs, or is AI going to replace data analysts? I know that's a question that is on everybody's lips. But let me tell you this. The truth is, AI is not replacing data analysts. Actually, it is actually replacing the old way analysts used to work. Now, let me break it down for you. Let me break it down for you. All right. Now, let's say we have two analysts now, a traditional analyst and an AI data analyst. Normally, a traditional analyst is going to spend hours cleaning messy data, summarizing reports, debugging problems and queries, writing long explanations to managers, and so on. But that is not how an AI data analyst works. So an AI data analyst with tools like Claude AI, ChatGPT, and also all that is going to make cleaning and summarizing happen in minutes. So all those cleaning and summarizing that international analyst is probably going to take hours or days to do. And AI data analysis is going to make it very, very fast. Okay. So cleaning and summarizing things happen in minutes. Debugging problems and queries happen in minutes. And the analyst can spend more time doing the other important things like strategy and decision making. So you see, as an AI data analyst, it's not an AI data analyst is not someone who is replaced, actually. It's actually someone who learns how to use AI to become 5 times faster, 5 times more efficient, and even 10 times more valuable to the business. So you see, so now let me also break it down. Think of this as, in the olden days, we used to have this theory that calculators in the past, that people usually fear that calculators are going to replace accountants. Okay? Calculators going to replace accountants. But what now really happened? Instead, accountants who learned how to use calculators become more faster, become more accurate. And that is the same thing with AI. Okay. The data analysts who use AI are the people that are going to thrive. So don't ever feel like AI is going to take your job or AI is going to replace you and all that. All right. The only thing you need to know is just try and leverage AI, try and embrace it, and you can see how faster, how efficient your work is going to be. Okay, so enough of me talking and talking and talking. Let's dive straight into how we can do this. Okay, so first of all, we are working for a travel agency. So first of all, what is a travel agency? So a travel agency is a company that helps people, you know, book and enjoy their trips by offering services like flight tickets, hotel bookings, vacation packages, tours, and travel advice. Okay, so think of them like the Expedia, the Bookings.com, the Wakana.com, and all those sites, right? So say they simplify travel planning, saves time, and provides cost-effective solutions to customers. All right. So most of us probably must have even used these travel agencies without even knowing. I mean, some people, you want to book flights, you want to book holidays, you go online and book holidays without even knowing that you are using travel agencies. So these travel agencies, they collect data about their customer preferences, about their customer demographics in order to boost their business, in order to optimize their business. Okay. And today we want to see how we can use data analytics in a travel agency. Okay. So first of all, we can use it to understand customers and sales. So what do I mean by this? We use it to analyze the booking patterns, the popular destinations that customers used to travel to, the seasonal trends, and even customer preferences to know what sells, when they sell, and also to who they sell to. Right? And then another point is also in driving business growth. This is also very, very important. So we can apply data analytics to use the insights to adjust pricing, to run targeted promotions, to improve customer service and boost overall revenue. Okay, wonderful. Now we are getting into what we want to do proper. So this particular agency, the name is SkyQuest Travel. So they are a leading travel agency that provides domestic and international travel packages across Europe, Asia, and North America. Okay, so the company offers both budget and premium packages to their customers. So now this company is facing challenge. They are facing challenges. What challenges are they facing? Fluctuating seasonal demands, uneven revenue contribution across destinations, differences in how customer groups choose and spend on packages, and also a noticeable decline in walk-in booking compared to online channels. So in order to stay competitive, the company wants to understand its booking patterns, customer behavior, and revenue distribution, while also ensuring data-driven decisions guides its future strategy. Okay, now let's see what we are going to do for this particular organization. We've seen their overview. Let's see what we are going to do. So the aim of what we want to do here is to analyze this company's data to be able to identify the seasonal booking trends and peak travel months, to evaluate destination revenue contributions, to compare customer demographics and package preferences, to assess booking channel performance, as well as to provide management with a clear visual dashboard for faster decision making. Okay, so these are what we are going to do today. So today is getting very, very interesting. Okay, so this is where you click to get the data set. So remember, all the resources, everything, I mean, even this video recording and the data set we are going to be using today are going to be made available for you when you fill the form that is going on right now on the comment section, right? So fill the form so that you can get access to all the recordings, all the data sets that we are going to be using today. So when you fill the form and get access to the data sets and the recordings and everything, this is where you are going to click to download the data sets. All right, so make sure you fill the form and get access to everything that we're going to be doing today. Today is going to be magic, right? So now, this is what we're going to be doing actually. So this is what we're going to be doing in a nutshell. So you see this particular image, this first image at the top. This is just an image of rows and columns, just rows and columns that are a bunch of numbers, alphabets, and all that. So they can be very, very, very confusing. Looking at these numbers and words, you can't even be able to spot what is going on in the business. You can't be able to know what is going on. You can't be able to actually derive insights from what you are seeing. Okay, so we are going to convert these rows and columns, these numbers that you have here, from this first image to this second image that you have here. So you can see we are going to convert this first image from just these rows and columns that you have here to this second image that is much, much more understandable. So even if I show this to someone that does not even have any knowledge of data analytics, he can be able to understand what we are seeing in this second image. So this is a dashboard that we are going to be doing today in a few minutes time. All right, so this is what we are going to be doing. Isn't that amazing? Really, that is very, very, very amazing. Okay, so without wasting much time, let me just show you how Claude AI is. So this is actually Claude AI. So just like we have ChatGPT, you can just sign up for Claude AI, very, very easy. So just use your Gmail and your phone number and you are signed up. Within a minute or two, you are signed up and you're ready to go. All right. So this is my Claude AI, and this is the data set that we are going to be working with. This is the data set that we are going to be working with. All right. So from this data set, we can see the booking ID, which is the unique booking number for each entry. We can see the booking dates when these bookings were made. We can see the month, we can see the customer age, we can see the age group, we can see the customer type, the package type. We can also see the number of travelers. We can see the destination ID. We can also see the destination name. That is where these people are actually going to have their holidays or to have their travel or to just enjoy. Okay, so also here we see the booking channels. So we have the online channels and the working stores for this company. And we also see the package unit price as well as the booking amounts. Okay, so we've seen this data set now. Let's go ahead and start analyzing this data with the help of Claude AI. Okay, so the first thing I want to do here is to convert this to a table. So to convert this to a table, I just use the shortcut key, Control and the A button on the keyboard. Okay, so I use Control A, highlights everything, and then I use the shortcut key again, Control T, and that converts it to a table. All I need to do is just click on OK, and that converts that to a table. Very, very easy. Okay, so I've converted this to a table. I can go ahead and give this table a name. So I come over here to this left-hand side, and I just, let me give it a name. Let me say travel data. I've given it a name, travel data. Okay, so the next thing I want to do right now is to go ahead and create a pivot table to start working on this. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and create another sheet, and this sheet is what I just created. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a pivot table. So pivot table is a very powerful tool in Excel that helps us summarize and calculate values very, very fast. Okay, so I can come here under the Insert tab, then I click on Pivot Table. So I click on it and it asks me to put in our table name. So I just put in the name of the table I just named. So travel data, I enter. Okay, let me just start from here. So travel data, let me just insert the pivot table again. So travel data, and then I hit enter. Then we have this, and you can see the pivot table fields are brought in. So now let's go back again and see what we want to do for this particular organization. So the first thing we want to do here is what we want to identify the seasonal booking trends and peak travel months. So what we want to do here is just to see the customer demands and the depths of booking across the months. So we want to see the months where we have high customer demand or where we have low booking demands. Okay, so that is very, very easy to achieve on pivot table. So all I need to do here is just dragging the month to the rows, and then I dragging the booking ID to the values, and just within minutes, I have been able to get the customer demand in for different modes. Okay, so now I have gotten this. I want to create now a visual to be able to visualize this. And this is where we usually get frustrated, or for a lot of analysts. You have your pivot table ready now, but you're not actually sure which chart is best to explain what you want to show. Okay, so you might probably be wondering, should I use a line chart? Should I use a bar chart? Should I use a pie chart even? What should I use to be able to represent these values that I have here? What should I be able to use to show my stakeholders what I have there? This is where Claude AI comes to life. This is where what Claude AI comes to life. Now, instead of guessing, now watch what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to copy this. So Control C, copy this. Now I go back to my Claude AI. And then I paste this, and then I just tell Claude AI, I have these values from my data. I can say, what charts should I use to visualize this? So we hit enter, and let's see what Claude AI is going to tell us. Okay, so you see the way Claude AI is just acting like my assistant here. All I need to do is just tell it what I have, tell it the data I have, and it's just going to give me the best suggestion. Okay, so from here now, I can just go ahead and close this. And then you can now see the most recommended is a line chart. The most recommended is a line chart. So you see how easy it is. So look at this. It gave me an option, and it also gave me other options. See the second choice, and let me see whether we have another choice. You can also see another choice. So it gave me so many options, but now it gave me the most recommended, which is a line chart. So you see how easy it is. So instead of wasting hours or wasting up to 30 minutes, testing so many charts, the power we have in our hands as an AI data analyst is this. Within minutes, we can be able to get answers to what we want. So it recommended me a line chart, so I can go ahead and create this line chart. Okay, so I come over here, I click on pivot table, I go to pivot table analyze, I select the pivot chart, and then I come over here and select the line chart. Then you can see this line chart, I click OK. So you see, immediately I have been able to get a line chart. Okay, I can just remove or delete these and just remove all this, and then just also remove this. Okay, so this is our line chart. I can go ahead and now give it a name. I can say monthly uh, booking trends, monthly booking trends. Okay, so this is our line chart. Okay, I might as well just change it to an area chart just to make it look like what we have in our slide. Okay, so let me just change it quickly and just give it a good color, just like what we have in our charts, in our slide. Okay, so we have something like this looking nice. All right, so now let's keep on going. So let's go back again and see the next thing we want to do. So we want to evaluate the destination revenue contribution. So here, what we want to do here is we want to see the different destinations that contributes more to our revenue. So we want to see how our revenue is broken down by the different destinations that we have. So I'm just going to go once again and create another pivot table. Okay, so I can create pivot table, or I can just copy this and reuse this particular pivot table. So I just copied it, I pasted it here. So now I want to reuse this. So I'm just going to remove everything that we have here. And then remember what I want to do. I want to break down the revenue by destination. So I come over here to this right-hand side. I drag the destination name to the rows, and then I drag the revenue, which is this booking amount, to the values. You can see seamlessly within a second. Did I say a second? Is that not a millisecond? I have been able to generate these values. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and create another chart. So I'm just going to go to the pivot table analyze, go to the pivot chart and create something like this. I can have something like this, or I can use a bar chart, something like this. Then I click on this. Okay, so I have been able to do this. So I can just go ahead and just remove this. Basically, I don't like those pivot table fields. And I can name it again. I give this name, let's say, um, revenue, revenue by destination. Let me say revenue by destination. Okay, so I can just give it a color to just suit what we already have, which is this, and this is good to go. This is good to go. You see, this is good to go. So let's keep on moving forward. So let me go back again to this, and let's see the next thing we want to do. We want to compare customer demographics and package preferences. So what we want to do here is just basically we want to see the customer segments and their preferences by the packages that we offer. Okay, so this particular organization already offers so many packages. We want to see the customer demographics or the customer segments and their preferences. So I come over here and just let me also read this particular one. So I'm going to copy it, come down here and paste it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just remove what we have already here. And then let me bring in the age group. And then I want to see the packages. So I'm going to bring in the package type, bring it to the values, and then also bring the package type also to the columns. And you can see how it is now broken down by the budget package, the mid-price package, and the premium package. Okay, so I can go ahead and also create this pivot chart. Very, very easy. So just like we've done already, I click on this, I go to pivot table analyze, go to the pivot chart, and I can select something like this. This looks okay. So I click OK, and our pivot chart is set up. I can go ahead and just remove this again and remove these lines, and maybe just give these lines the colors that we already want here. Okay, so let me just give them this line, this color. Then let me give the mid price brackets. Let me give it this color. So let me just give it this color. And let me give this particular one this color. Good. This is looking nice. Very, very nice. I can bring this particular budget down here, but let me just keep going forward. So I can also give it a title. So I click on this plus sign and come over here and check this chart title. So when I check it, the title is up. So I can now give it a name. So let me name this customer, let me say customer segments by packages. Okay, by packages. Wonderful. This is looking nice. So let's keep on moving forward. So let's go to the next one. So what the last one I want to do here is to assess the booking channel performance. Okay, so obviously this company has so many booking channels, or is it 2 or 3 channels, and they want to see how these booking channels are performing, basically maybe by revenue or by the number of bookings. So that is also what we can do here on Excel. So I'm just going to copy this again to reuse this pivot table, come down here and also paste. And then let me just remove this and want to get the booking performance of the channels. So we come over here and look for the booking channels. So drop the booking channel here. And let's also look for the, the booking, the number of bookings by booking channels. And then we have something like this. Okay. So from here, we can now see that the online was able to give us 713 bookings, while the working stores that they have were able to just give us 287 bookings. So you might as well just summarize this or just show it as a percentage of total so that you can be able to see how it is broken down in percentages. Okay, so we've broken this down to percentages. Now let's create a chart to show this. So we select the pivot table, go to the pivot table analyze, and click on the pivot chart again. And for this one, let's choose the pie chart. And we can use something like this in the not chart. And remember, we've been able to use Claude AI to suggest the best chart for us based on what we have. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove this and give it a name. So let me name this. Let me say booking channel breakdown. So breakdown. So booking channel breakdown. So let's just also give it let's also format it a little bit to make it look just like what we have already. So I'm just going to double click this. I go to the formats. I go to the shape fill and give it this color. Then I do the same for this red bar and double click it again. Go to the shape fill and give it this color. This looks nice. Okay, so I can just bring this to the middle. This looks very, very nice. So you see what we've been able to do. So the next thing we also want to do now is also to create a KPI, okay? So a key performance matrix that help us to see how well our company or how well our organization is doing. So I'm just going to copy this again, come over here and paste it. And now I'm going to remove everything I have here. And let's say want to see how many bookings these organizations have. So I'm going to drag the booking ID to the values. And let's say we also want to see the revenue that this particular organization have generated. So I'm going to drag the booking amount also to the values. And let's say we also want to see the average revenue per booking. Okay, that is not here, but we can also calculate it. So we can come over here and write average revenue per booking. And what we just need to do is just do equals to the revenue divided by the number of booking, and then we have our average revenue per booking. Okay, so let's say we also want to see, the top destinations that we've been able to get from this company. So let me say top destinations. Top destinations. This is also what we can do. So what we are going to do here is just very, very simple. We can come over here to the destinations where we have the destinations. I'm going to just copy this. Just copy this, come down here, and then paste it. So what I want to do right now is I want to extract the values that I have here. I want to bring them out. Okay, so I'm just going to come down here and write equals to. Okay, so before I do that, I want to make sure that my get pivot data is on. So I go to pivot table analyze, go to the options and make sure that this get pivot data is checked. Then I can come down here and write equals to, then I select this particular number for Accra. So I can just come here and just remove this Accra that we have here and select the one that we have here and click enter. And then I can just drag this down. Okay, so I've been able to extract what we have here and brought it here. Now I want to sort this now in ascending order to be able to see the top destinations. Okay, I want to see the top destination. So I'm just going to highlight this, go to my data tab, go to the sort ribbon. Okay, I click on this and then I select the sort by the second column, and then from largest to the smallest, I click OK. Then you can see this is sorted from largest to smallest. Very, very, very easy. So I can now come over here and just reference our top destinations. Okay, so I've been able to do this very, very simple. Okay, so far we've been able to answer these questions using our pivot table and charts. But there comes the next step, which can also be a challenge in, as a data analyst, and that is what in designing our dashboard. Okay, this is one of the challenges. I mean, one of the challenges, even as a professional analyst, and even more so as a beginner, that is in dashboard layout. So we know that we've been able to bring out the chart that we want and the KPIs, but we don't actually know where to place these KPIs. We don't know how they are going to be laid out. We don't know which one goes on top. We don't know which one goes to the side. We don't know which one, we don't actually know how this works. Okay, so, but instead of guessing, instead of wasting time, let's see how Claude AI can be able to recommend the best dashboard layout that we can use. So let's see the magic of Claude AI. So I'm just going to take us back again to Claude AI, and I'm just going to prompt Claude AI right now. Okay, so I can just start by saying, I have a travel agency data where I have created pivot tables to highlight seasonality, revenue distribution, customer demographics. What else did we now do? And channel distribution. So I can go ahead and tell AI, I'm confused, or let's just say with, or let's say I'm confused on the dashboard layout to use. So now I want Claude AI to be able to recommend the dashboard to use. So I can just say something like, create 3 dashboard layouts for me to use for this analysis. Create 3 dashboard layouts for me to use for this analysis, showing different places I can place my KPIs and charts. So let me just quickly write this. Okay, I can just go ahead and also say, just give me a picture. Okay, so let's just see what Claude AI can do. So I just go ahead and prompt it. Okay, so you see, magic is happening. Magic is happening. Real magic is happening. And this is what mostly we spend time doing. Me personally, most times I find out that I end up wasting days, weeks, and months trying to build a perfect dashboard, and building dashboard and taking it down and building another dashboard, and all those things take time, and they even take weeks. Okay, so this can actually be minimized. You can cut down these things that we do using Claude AI. Okay, so most times, even as a professional, right now we don't actually build dashboard from scratch every single time. So we use these design principles, and now with Claude AI, we can even use this layout inspiration instantly. Okay, so let's say we are struggling with inspiration on the type of dashboard to use. We don't even need those things. Claude AI can be able to give us a very good recommendation of the ways that we can use Claude, the ways that we can lay out our dashboard to be able to show what we want. Okay, so now you see what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about. You see the first layout where it talks about everything. You see, very, 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 very wonderful. So this is the first layout. This is also the second layout. And then also, this is also the third layout. Remember, I just asked only for 3 different dashboard layouts. I can go ahead and ask for 4. I can go ahead and ask for 5. But let's say you are struggling with how you can be able to build your dashboard or arrange your dashboard. Claude AI can help you do this. Very, very easy. Okay, so this is just the wonders of Claude AI. So we're able to see how we can be able to draft dashboard layouts. We can now use this dashboard layout, recreate it, and use it for our business. Okay, so for the scope of what we want here, we are just going to try to create what we have on what we have here. Okay, so we just want to create what we have here, but I've shown you how you can use Claude AI not just to get the best visualization, but also to create dashboard layouts. Okay, so the next thing I want to do right now is to create the dashboards, right? So I'm going to add another sheet, and then I'm going to start creating the dashboard. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the view here, remove the grid lines, and let me just take this a little bit up so that you can see everything. Okay, so I can now go ahead and start creating the dashboard. Okay, so let me just use 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm just going to insert shapes. Let me use this shape, and I'm going to insert shape like this. Something like this is okay. Okay, so I can just make this look better. And then let me give it a color, so very good color. So I'm going to right click, go to format shape here. And for the fill, I want to use want to use this. And then for the outline, I want to remove the outline. So I've removed the outline. We have something like this. So let me just duplicate this. So Control D duplicates what I have. So for this duplicate, I'm going to also right click and change the color to something like white and give it a solid line. Let's say this color, something like this looks nice. Okay, so I can now come over here and kind of make it look like this. Okay, so like this. See, we are getting there. Okay, so the next I want to do now is to just bring in just a line, straight line. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a straight line here. So for this straight line, let me give it a good color. So I'm going to go to the shape outline, make it a little bit bold, or let me just make it a little bit less bold. Give it something like this. And then I'm going to give it a color, something darker. Okay, so I have this. I can also duplicate this and start using it for the rest of my dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to use this line as some sort of a divider between my charts. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this. So Control D duplicates this. So I'm just going to bring this somewhere, something like this. And I can bring this a little bit up. And then I'm also going to duplicate this again. Come over here and just bring this a little bit down. And just arrange it to make sure that they are all looking straight. Okay, so this is coming together. And the next I want to do is to duplicate this also. So bring this here. I just make it a little bit short. Okay, so I duplicate this. So Control D duplicates. And then I come over here and just make this a little bit short. So same thing, I duplicate this again. Bring this somewhere here. And duplicate it again and take this here. Okay, so we've been able to, structure how our layout is going to look. So the next thing we want to do now is to bring in the dashboards. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to bring in the dashboard. Let me make this a little bit straight. Okay, it looks straight. So to bring in the dashboard, I'm just going to come over here to my Excel, to my pivot table, select on either of the dashboard, Control C copies it, come to the dashboard view, Control V, paste the dashboard. Okay, so this is the dashboard. So I'm just going to remove the outline and the fill. So I'm going to select this, go to the formats, go to shape fill, no fill, shape outline, no outline. Okay, so I can now bring this up and resize this to fit in how we want it to look. Okay, and there you have it. You have your first line chart. Okay, so we have the first line chart. Let's go ahead and do this for the others. So I can go back again, select this, Control C, come back again to my dashboard, Control V. Then I bring this up. So just like I did for the others, I'm going to remove the fill and the outline so that it makes it look kind of embedded inside what I want. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce how this looks and take this up a little bit. Okay, so I might just want to remove this and just give this a data label. So I'm just going to select on this plus, go to data labels, check the data labels, and then I can now remove this. So this is looking good. So let's keep on moving forward. So I come down here, I select this again. Come here, I paste it, and I bring it up. So just like others, I am going to remove the fill. So I'm going to remove the fill and the outline. And I'm going to put it somewhere here. I think it still has an outline, so I'm just going to make sure the outline is gone. Okay, so the outline is gone. So I'm just going to bring this up a little bit, bring this down a little bit. Now I can just push this legend to below here. So I'm just going to right click, go to format legend, and then select bottom. Then you can see the legend is now below. Okay, very, very easy. Now let's keep on moving. I go back to my chart again. Let me bring this donut chart. So I'm going to Control C, copy, come over here and Control V. Okay, I'm just going to remove the outline again and remove the fill, just like we have. Remove the fill and remove the outline. So I can just come here and move it and put it somewhere here. Okay, I can just shift my title and you can see the dashboard is coming to life. So the next thing I want to do is the KPIs. Okay, so for the KPIs, I'm just going to make sure that my get pivot data is not shared. Okay, so I'm going to go to my pivot table analyze, go to options. I generated it before, but I can now uncheck it. Then let me go back again and start putting in the KPIs. So I'm going to come here and go to the Insert tab. I click on the text and then I select text box. And I'm just going to draw a text box of what I want here. So for the first KPI, I want the first KPI to be total bookings. Let's say total bookings. And then I want to duplicate this. So I'm going to Control D, duplicate, and come over here. Or before I even do the Control D, let me remove the outlines of this text box. So I'm going to select it, come over here again, and remove the outline. Also remove the fill. Okay, so I can now come back here and Control D, duplicate it, and then put this here. So for the second KPI, I want it to be total revenue. Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate it again and use it for the third KPI. So for the third KPI, I said that should be average revenue by booking. So let me just move this a little bit bigger. Average revenue by booking. Okay, so duplicate it once more. And for this other KPI, I want it to be, the last KPI was top destination. So you want to see the top destination that this particular company has. Okay, so we've been able to get the titles. Now let's get the values. So I'm just going to duplicate this also. So you see, most times all I do is just duplicate what I have. Okay, so I'm just going to select this and delete this. And I'm going to bring in those values. So I come over here to the formula bar, I write equals to. So for the total bookings, let me go back to my sheet and let me go to where we calculated the total bookings. So I select this, I click enter. Total booking is here. Okay, so I can just duplicate it again. So for the total revenue, I'm also going to just delete what I have here and bring in where I have my total revenue. I select this, I hit enter, and my total revenue is here. Okay, so I can also duplicate it again and come over here and also get in our average revenue by booking. I come here and get the average revenue by booking. I click enter, and that is here. So I can go ahead and duplicate this again and bring in our top destination. So for the top destination, I can just delete this also, come to where my pivot table is and select the top destination. So obviously, London is the top destination for the customers that booked this particular travel agency. So I'm going to select this, and let me just go ahead and format it a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to come here and increase the font a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. Let's say 14 and make it bold. Okay, so this is looking better. And I can now use this for the others. So I'm just going to click on Format Painter, select this, go back, Format Painter, and select this, go back, Format Painter, and select this. Okay, so you see, very, very easy. We built our dashboard. So the next thing is also to bring in the title of our chart. So I'm going to duplicate this again and then bring it somewhere up here. And then let me name it Sky West Analytics Dashboard. All right. So I'm just going to make it bold and then also going to increase it a little bit. So I come over here and increase the font. Let's see, or let's just leave it the way it is. Okay. So this is it. So the next thing we want to do now is to bring in our slicers, okay, so that we can be able to filter and slice and dice our data. So we come back to the pivot table, click on any of the pivot table, go to pivot table analyze and insert slicer. So I'm just going to insert, let's say 2 slicers. And for these slicers, I'm going to use the destination name and the, let's say, age group. Okay, so the destination name and the age group. I click OK, and these are our 2 slicers. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that they are all connected to our charts. So for each of these slicers, I'm going to right click, go to report connections, and then select the charts. So I'll select everything is connected. And do the same for this. Right click, go to report connections, and select our charts. Okay, so I'm just going to select this and then copy them, Control C. I come back to my dashboard. Let me also paste them here. I think they are down here. Okay, so they are down here. Let me bring them up and let me work with them. Okay, so first of all, this chart now, I want to make it to be, this is vertical, I want to make it to be horizontal. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is click on this, go to the slicer tab here, and then change the number of columns to what we have here. So the number of columns, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm going to select 8 columns, hit enter, and then I've changed it to horizontal. Okay, so you can now see it is now in the horizontal view. But now let me also change the color to sort of blend with what I have on my dashboard. I'm going to select it again and select this color. This looks okay. So now let me duplicate this also to just do something. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce this a little bit to look like this. And then I'm going to remove the header of this. So I'm going to uncheck the display header. I click OK. So this is looking much more like what we want. So I can bring it here and put it somewhere here. Okay. So let me do the same for this slicer. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 values. So I'm going to change the column to 4. So I'm coming here to slicers and change the column to 4, but it is now in the horizontal view. So I can now just bring it here, and just like I did before, I'm going to duplicate this and then change the color. Okay, so change the color to this. Also for this, I also change the color to this option that I have here. So for this one, I'm going to minimize this a little bit to make it look like this. And then I'm going to remove the header here. So I'm going to right click, go to slicer settings, uncheck the display header and click OK. So this is looking much more like what we have. Okay, so we can just set this based on our reference, and then we can just put this here. So this will act as a default slicer. So we can just use it to remove our filters. So this is our dashboard. Now, the dashboard is not yet done. You'll be able to do the dashboard, but your work as a data analyst is not also done. Okay, we've built the dashboard. Okay, we've done everything. We've done the chart and we've done the dashboard. But the truth is that data analysis is not all about charts. It's also about storytelling and also about insights and recommendations. That is what the managers pay you for. Okay. And let's also see how AI can help us here. Okay. So let's say we have this dashboard now and we want AI to help us generate insights from our dashboard. Maybe we are running out of mental block and we can't be able to understand or generate insights from dashboard. Claude AI can also do the same thing. Very, very easy. Now, watch what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to screenshot this. So I'm going to screenshot this. I'm going to take a screenshot of my dashboard. I'm taking a screenshot. Then I go back to Claude AI and then I paste in this screenshot. I paste in this screenshot now, and now I want AI to help me with insights and recommendations. So I come over here again and say, using this dashboard attached, I can say something like, tell me the insights you can see from here. Tell me the insights you can see from here for each of the cards charts. And also say, also give me recommendations for each. Okay, so I can now hit enter and let's see the magic that Claude AI does. The thing is, normally it might take you 30 minutes to stare at your dashboard before you can be able to understand the insights. But with Claude AI, you get these first drafts instantly. And your job as a data analyst is just to refine it and make it much more useful and business ready. Okay, so now we've seen what has happened now. You see what has happened. Wonderful. Claude AI has been able to give us the analysis and recommendations, and you can see the insights and the recommendations. So let me just close this. So going down also, we can see the monthly booking trends. We can see the January, just gives us insight of everything and also gives us what? Recommendations. So isn't this wonderful? Like, isn't this very, very wonderful? This is absolutely out of this world. This is just like having a junior data analyst working under you, and all you are just going to do is just making the final call. Okay, this is what, and this is how AI makes you more efficient, more valuable, and not replaceable. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to where I was. So Claude AI has been able to generate the insights. So I think I kind of, okay, so Claude AI has been able to generate the insights for me. And let me just give me a moment. So Claude AI has been able to generate the insights and given me the appropriate recommendations. So let me just give it a little bit of time for it to load. Let me also share this part of the screen. Let me also share this. Okay, so now we can now see that Claude AI has been able to generate these insights for us and also give us so many recommendations. So you see, how easy and how beautiful this makes it very look. Okay, so this is what Claude AI can do, and this is how we can be able to generate insights for our business. So going back to this dashboard, you can now see how we have been able to change our data from how it was looking before. Remember, this was how we had our data. This was what we have. Just bunch of words and numbers without even having to know what is going on. We've been able to change it from this to this, which is wonderful. So just by looking at this chart, we can be able to see the total number of bookings we had, the total revenue, the average revenue by booking, the top destinations, and so on. Okay, for this, I think I didn't have the data labels. I'm just going to check the data labels and also bring this out so it's visible. So from here, you can now see a breakdown of everything that is going on in our business. So let's say your manager comes in and tells you, please, analyst, can you tell us what happened in Accra, or how is our business looking in Accra or London? I can just click on London and you can see my chart is filtered to London. I can also click on something like New York or Paris, and you can see how my chart is filtered. Isn't this wonderful? And then I can also close and clear all these filters as I want. So you can now see with a dashboard like this, makes it much more data driven. So by looking at a chart like this for, let's see an example, monthly booking trends, we can see that we had the highest peak in August and December, which is kind of very much expected because this is when people actually go on holidays. I mean, December, people go on holidays, people go on vacations and all that. You can see our dashboard is speaking data, is speaking facts, and not a guesswork. From the numbers that we have here, we're able to convert this to a dashboard that everybody can be able to understand and make decisions. Okay, so that is all about what we are able to do. So this is just a small taste of what we do here at Analytics. I mean, in our full programs, we go even deeper, not just in building dashboards, but also in learning how we can be able to solve real-world problems across different industries, from healthcare to finance to retail to so many other industries. Okay, and most importantly, we guide you step by step until you can be able to showcase these projects that employees want to see. Okay, so if you enjoyed today's session and you're serious about building a career in data, I encourage you to take the next step and join Analytics. I will allow my colleague Priscilla to tell you more about all that. Right? So Priscilla, are you there?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, Stanley. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you. So you can
All
just
right.
go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much for such an interesting session. So, guys, if you're still here and you're still in the chat, just tell me how the session has been so far. Have you had a good time so far? Right. Just let me know in the chat before we delve into the nitty-gritty of getting started as a data analyst. Have you had a good time so far? Me, I've had a good time, right? I've enjoyed it. I've seen how we have taken data in rows and columns and turning it into this beautiful chart right here. So we're going to get started. I'm going to talk you through how you can literally get started as a data analyst. Okay, so right about now, I'll share my screen and take us through the most interesting aspect of every single thing so far. Now, I know that a lot of us, I mean, we're here for data analytics, and a lot of us must have heard that, oh yeah, AI is going to take the job of a data analyst, or some of us might even have the fear of the data analytics space is so saturated. I don't think it's something I want to do. But I mean, life itself is saturated, don't you think? We're over 7 billion people here on Earth. And I will show you tonight how the data analytics space is not saturated and how you can get started as a data analyst. So why should anybody become a data analyst, basically? So here at Analytics, if you heard me during the introduction, I said that we're focused on just 8 career path in tech. And this was very intentional for us. Just 8 career paths. Tech is absolutely broad. And we've been able to ensure, we're a data-driven company. So for us to focus on these 8, we had to do our analysis. We had to take a look at major job boards like LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, and we're looking for career path that will be easy for anybody to get into. Not just easy, something that is also still in demand. So we had criteria for selecting these career paths, and the first is ease of learning, right? And this data analytics program or career path checks into that criteria because regardless of your background, whether you studied management, whether you studied education, whether you're in the sciences or not, you can easily learn, right? Regardless of your background, learn within a couple of months, and then you can also easily transition. You can get a job as soon as possible. Okay, and not just any kind of job, but one that pays you really, really well. So this was our analysis, which the data analytics career path rightly fits into. So we needed to get some sort of external validation. Is there any, global view to this ascertaining or corroborating our story? And to get this external validation, we took a look at the Future of Jobs reports by World Economic Forum. So the World Economic Forum is made up of your tech leaders like your Elon, your Jeff Bezos, and they chart the course for career path. And here's what they have to say. So if you're here today and you think that the data analytics career path is saturated, everybody is a data analyst. This is what the World Economic Forum has to say. So they have to say that in the next 5 years, right? This report was released in January of 2025. In the next 5 years, between now and 2030, 170 million jobs will be created, while 92 million jobs will disappear. And I'll show you that the data analytics role is amongst those that would still, be in demand. It is not a role that is going to fizzle out, as fast as or as a lot of us would like to assume, well, this is going to fizzle out. That is not the case, right? So if you're going to get into data analytics, the sky's your limit, literally. You have like 170 million jobs and you can tap into that. You can get a job as a data analyst. So while you're still bothered about, oh, is this space saturated and all of that, people are getting jobs. So this is a snippet of the report. So you can see job growth and decline 2025 and to 2030. So to my right are the list of jobs that would fizzle out with time. And to my left are the list of jobs that would continuously grow in demand. And then we have the big data specialists, which the data analysts would fit into. Then we have explicitly here data analysts and scientists, right? And then right here, we have the business intelligence analyst, the supply chain and logistics analyst. So what I've done is to have the link to this report right here on this slide. So fill the attendance form so that when this is available, you can take your time to go through to see the report for yourself. So you're looking to become a data analyst. What are the skills that you must have? Truth is, every single business, whether the small business by the corner, the supermarket, the big company, every single business is generating data. And somebody has to be there to make sense of the data. Somebody has to tell the company, okay, this is what is going on. These are the decisions we should make if we're looking to optimize sales, to increase revenue. And the data analyst is in charge of that, right? You visiting any social media application is you generating data, right? So you can tell, if Instagram can take a look at your data, that you've been able to generate the things you like and is able to recommend reels based on your interest. You can tell the decisions that companies would be making based on the data that they've been able to gather. Right, so you're looking to become a data analyst. What are the skills that you must have? The focus right now should not just be learning, learning to become a data analyst. The focus should be on getting a job after learning. And right here at Analytics, this is what we have at the back of our mind going into any class to teach you. How can we teach you? What are the things that we ought to teach you? So much so that you are able to get a job. So let's get into it. What are the skills that you must have to be able to land a job successfully in 2025? And so we've curated a list of them. The first thing you need to learn, just take a look at my screen under the key learning areas. The first thing you need to learn is problem solving. How do you approach problems as a data analyst? Right? What are the different techniques, to approaching and solving problems? Because you're there in the company to solve problems. What should be your approach? Immediately you're given a task or you have a report. What should be your approach, basically? So we're able to start right from the very scratch. We're able to help you think as a data analyst. That is the first thing you get to learn here at Analytics. Then you also learn Excel. Excel is like the bread and butter of every single data analyst. Just the same way you've seen Stanley use Excel, that is how you'll be able to use Excel to generate insights, to do your analysis, right? And the juicy part of all of this is we like to consider every single person coming into Analytics as a clean slate, somebody without prior experience. So we're teaching you right from the very scratch. If you don't know anything about Excel, not to worry, just come as you are to Analytics and we'll be able to teach you right from the very beginning. Then we have SQL, structured query language. This is the language of every database, right? And as a data analyst, how do you communicate a database? You do that using the structured query language. We have the data manipulation languages, the data definition languages, the data querying languages, and these are the things that you will get to learn here at Analytics. And then we have Power BI. Now, as a matter of fact, Excel has its limitations, right? Imagine you have a large data set, over 30,000 rows, and you want to do analysis of Excel. It will become really slow and annoying. So Power BI is a business intelligence tool that is able to take care of the limitations of Excel. You're also able to build a more visually appealing report. You're able to do something called web scraping using Power BI and connect to multiple data sources, right? Then you have Tableau as well. So Tableau is a business intelligence tool just like Power BI. So a lot of the times when you get to see job applications and all of that, job openings, recruiters would require you to either have Power BI or Tableau skills. But we're teaching you the both of them just in case you find yourself in an organization that requires you to use Power BI, you're good to go. If you find yourself in one that requires you to use Tableau, you are also good to go. Then absolutely, I'm sure you heard Stanley mention data storytelling because it is just that your job is just 60% coming up with chat and all of that. You need to be able to communicate your insights. Right, you need to be able to understand, okay, which charts do I use? Luckily, which you can use AI for. But then, if you don't understand the basics, if you don't understand why you have to use line charts, to visualize trends, you'll be making serious mistakes, right? And that is why we teach you data storytelling. How do you communicate your insights? So much so that it syncs with the management and they're able to see the importance of your analysis. Then, obviously, ChatGPT for analytics. Every single tech professional needs to know how to incorporate AI into their workflow. As a matter of fact, AI is not going to take your job. It is people that know how to use AI that will take your job. So in the 70s, when we used to have bookkeepers and accounting clerks and all of that, with the emergence of spreadsheets, they were so scared that, oh, we're not going to have jobs anymore and all of that, right? But guess what? It opened up more roles. You started hearing of roles like, financial analysts and all of that, people that were able to not just get saddened by the fact that this new technology is here to help, but they were able to incorporate it into their workflow. So they moved from calculating previously. Just take a look at the data sets that Stanley showed you. So if you want to calculate the total bookings previously without spreadsheet, you'll have to, start adding them up manually. But with the advent of spreadsheet, you can immediately use formulas, immediately use pivot charts. So I hope you've been able to see that it is actually not AI that is going to take your job. It is people that know how to wield AI, people that know how to use AI, right? That is going to take your job. And that is why we've incorporated ChatGPT for analytics. ChatGPT is a generative AI, and you're able to use that to perform your analysis. So you get a focus on more strategic and critical thinking. How does this impact the business? What variables should I measure and the likes, right? Instead of thinking of formulas and doing repetitive tasks. So that is why we have ChatGPT for analytics and we have Microsoft Fabric for analytics as well. right? So these are the skills that you need to learn to become a data analyst. We've trained a lot of people, and for every single person that has gotten a job as a data analyst, these are the things that they needed to learn, right? And I also need to mention to you that the focus for us is to ensure that after learning, you get a job. So we have to be strategic about that. Imagine a complete novice like yourself, a complete beginner getting a job, after 6 months of learning. How did we do that? Right? So it has to do with how you learn, basically. Right? And we've ensured that every key learning area here, you get to learn by working on projects. So you're learning by building experience. You're not just coming to learn theories, because theories don't get you the job, right? The experience gets you the job, your competence gets you the job, your skills, right? And how do you generate or gain experience? Because if you think about it, so the way that mid-level staff are able to move up the ladder to senior level is just by the experience they've been able to gather, right? Now, what gives them the experience? The task, the project, and the likes. That is the same way that you get to learn here at Analytics. You get to work on projects, gain real-world experience, see the applications of these tools and concepts in real time, right? So every key learning area here, you are learning by working on projects. And at the end of the day, you are able to curate all those projects and have them in a portfolio. So much so that you can showcase your recruiter any day, anytime. These are the skills and experiences that I have, because recruiters are big, big, big on, experience. Right. So with the way you learn, you are able to confidently show them that these are the skills that I have. Right. Now, as you can see here on my screen, the learning timeline for us here at Analytics is 8 months. But this 8 months have been split into two. So you have 6 months of learning and 2 months of internship, right? And with the learning, you have your live classes and your self-paced. Right. So we have what is called the blended learning approach. So with this blended learning approach, you get to learn in a live class on Saturday, and you also get to learn at your convenience. Now, every single live class is for 3 hours, and we have the morning and the evening class. So the morning class is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and it's advisable for people in Europe, UK, Africa. Right? Then we have the evening class, which is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time, advisable for people in North America. So you get to pick the timing that suits you, either the morning or the evening class, and you get to attend class. Right now, out of 4 Saturdays in a month, you're only required to be in a live class for 2 out of those 4 Saturdays. In these Saturdays, you get to interact with the facilitator, you get to work on projects, be with your colleagues. Thinking about it, 2 Saturdays out of 4 in a month. In 6 months, that's just 12 live classes. Is that really enough to get you where you need to be? That is why we have the self-paced. So with the self-paced, you're learning at your convenience. You get to work on projects. You get to learn from the very beginning at your own convenience. You choose the time and you choose the place. Right? And the juicy part is while you're learning, at your convenience, you have access to the instructors, you have access to the facilitators. Remember that you'll be working on projects. While you're working on the projects, if you're faced with any blocker, you are able to immediately reach out and get that resolved. So for anybody looking to transition into tech, this is absolutely how you want to learn, right? By plugging into the blended learning approach, where you get to work with an instructor in a live class, and you also get to learn at your convenience. Now, you see the key learning areas that we've been able to talk through, from your problem solving to Excel to SQL to Power BI and the likes. After you're done learning, you're not just stuck to applying to data analyst roles alone. So what are some jobs you can apply to after you've been able to build these skills, right? You can absolutely apply to data analyst jobs, right? And then you have your business intelligence analyst roles, your information analyst roles, your commercial analyst, your BI developer, your reporting analyst, database analyst, operations analyst, product analyst, database analyst, and administrator, and so much more. These are some roles that you can apply to after taking, the key learning areas here at Tenalytics. So here I've included for you to see some top reasons why people struggle to become data analysts and get jobs. If you go on LinkedIn and you search for data analysts, you see lots and lots of data analysts. But does everybody actually have a data analyst job or a business intelligence analyst, a reporting analyst, an information analyst role? No. So what are the impediments? Right? What are the reasons why people struggle to get jobs as data analysts? The first is lack of required skills and no structured learning approach. So some people just go right there on LinkedIn, go on Coursera and all of that, and there's no structured approach. So they go through a job description and see that, oh, this job requires me to learn how to use Excel. This day they're learning Excel. They see another job description. It requires me to learn how to use Google Sheet. You're learning, you're just moving from pillar to post without actually having a structured approach to learning. This is one of the reasons why people struggle to get jobs as data analysts. Then after learning, no proof of work and social proof, no project, no portfolio. If you come to me as a recruiter, if I'm a recruiter and you come to me and tell me that you are a data analyst, right? I'd like to see, your skills. I'd like to see, some of the solutions you've been able to come up with, your impact as a data analyst. If you've done it before, so that I can tell if you're able to do it now. And there's only one place I go to ascertain the skills that you have. That is your portfolio. And what is in your portfolio? The projects that you've worked on. So if you're going to be a data analyst, that is standing out and has a good chance of getting a job, you need a portfolio. And what this means is you need to learn in a project-based environment, which Analytics gives to you. Then another reason why people struggle to get jobs is no work experience on their CV, right? No work experience on their CV. So you are coming into Analytics. Remember, first of all, you're learning in a project-based environment. Right. Secondly, you are able to encourage every single one of our participants to have on their CV that they've worked with Analytics as consultants or contractors. Now, you're confidently able to do that because of the way you've learned. You've learned by gaining experience. You've learned by working on projects, by building your skills. And at the end of the day, you're able to have Analytics as your work experience right there on your CV. So you're done learning and you're not going to look for internship. You're getting a job as a data analyst, right? So these are the strategies that you need to put in place if you're looking to learn and get a job. You have to, first of all, learn and focus on your learning. If you're interested in data analytics, you have to be laser focused on data analytics, right? Then after learning, you also do what is called positioning. Right? So here at Analytics, we firmly believe that the technical skills, your Excel, your Power BI, SQL, and the likes, are not enough to get you the job. Right? So to get a job, you need the technical skills and the employability skills. Right? And the employability skills is basically all about positioning. So right here at Analytics, what we've done with positioning and giving you employability skills is that 2 months into the training, you have what is called the CV review and revamp. So with this, we're able to, provide you with a standard CV format that beats the applicant tracking system any day, anytime. And you're able to, we teach you how to tailor your CV according to that format. So when you're done tailoring your CV, you send it back to us, and our experts take a look at it and provide you with a personalized feedback. Now, tell me, as a beginner transitioning, you have somebody that is willing to review your CV, teach you how to, tailor your CV to suit the job of a data analyst, and then review to get you a personalized feedback. Tell me how that isn't going to help you and, help you get against or ahead the curve so that you become competitive. Remember here at Analytics that we encourage our participants to have on their CV that they've worked with Analytics as consultants or contractors. Now, we're able to provide you with a job description that summarizes all the projects you'll be working on here at Analytics and the impact of these projects. So you have that right on your CV. And you can showcase that to recruiters any day, anytime. Then we have LinkedIn optimization. You say you are a data analyst and your LinkedIn profile does not carry the right keywords. Now, a lot of our participants have recruiters reaching out to them via LinkedIn and even getting jobs on LinkedIn because of their positioning on LinkedIn. So as a data analyst, there are certain keywords that should be on your profile, right? Which will teach you in the LinkedIn optimization session. You also need to have a link to your portfolio, right? You need work experience very visible there, and you have 10 analytics for that. So this is what we're able to achieve with our LinkedIn optimization. And we teach you how to, tell your story, right? How you can stand as a thought leader, a data analytics thought leader, and communicate your insights right there on LinkedIn. Then we also have mentorship session, which is something every beginner looking to transition needs to get. You need people that have walked the talk, people that have done it before you, people that have gone and know the terrain to be able to tell you this is what you should do and this is what you shouldn't do. So starting the program with us, you have a weekly mentorship sessions. You have global recruiters coming in, the co-founders of Tenalytics, people that have gotten jobs, coming to talk you through their experiences and what they were able to do, right, to get their jobs and what you should also afford. Then we prep you for interview. As a beginner, you find a job and you apply to this job, right? You apply to this job and you have an interview coming up. They'll definitely ask you to answer competency-based questions. They would even ask you to introduce yourself. Now, there are steps and approaches, to doing these things. As soon as you have an interview coming up, all you have to do is just book for a prep session with Analytics. Easy peasy, right? And then you have an expert that will do their research on the company. They would also take a look at your CV, and they will preempt the questions you are likely to get and prep you for these questions. All of this, I hope you're starting to see how you can thrive as a beginner getting into data analytics with Tenalytics. Right? And then we also have what is called teaching you how to navigate the job market. So, where are the jobs? How can you apply to these jobs? So, we teach you. And one juicy thing that we've been able to do to help you go ahead of the curve is to subscribe to premium job boards. So, we've subscribed to premium job boards across the major economies: UK, US, Canada, right? So that apart from the traditional job boards that you have access to, your Glassdoor, Indeed, and the likes, you have access to these exclusive offers, visa sponsorship roles, remote roles, and the likes. All you have to do is just come and apply. Very interesting, right? I'm fascinated, right? We already paid for it. You don't have to pay. Just come and apply, and we'll be teaching you how to apply. So, what more do you need to actually thrive and get a job as a data analyst? Then, of course, we're able to provide you with reference and recommendation letters, and we have on-the-job support. A lot of our participants don't usually come back for this on-the-job support, but we have it handy just in case you get a job as a data analyst and you have a task that is really, really tasking, right? And then you don't know how to go about it. You have Tenalytics right there to support you. Now, after you're done positioning, you then need to apply, right? And then one key thing that we're big on here at Analytics is you need to tailor your CV to suit every job you're applying for. You don't want to use the CV that you used to apply for an information analyst role to apply for a marketing analyst role, right? It's because each job description carries keywords that the applicant tracking system will look out for. So you want to ensure that for every single application that you're making, your CV is tailored and carries the right keyword of that application. And this is how you get a job: by learning, by positioning, and then applying to jobs. Now, when I was talking about the learning timeline, I mentioned 6 months of learning and 2 months of internship. Right? Now, your internship will be done with a sister company called Amdari. Amdari is a company that is registered in London. And guess what? For those of us in London, in UK, that have recruiters that are big on having London or UK-based experience, you can have Amdari as your work experience on your CV. It is a company that is registered in London. Right? You also have Tenalytics registered in Canada. For those of us looking to get Canadian-based experience. And guess what? Tenalytics is also accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. What this means is it is the certification you'll be getting is globally recognized. analyst. So you have the unique opportunity of having two different work experiences. Imagine somebody without any prior knowledge of data analytics, but being able to have on your CV that you've worked for two different companies. Tell me, which recruiter would you show that and they wouldn't see what value you have to offer? Remember, you're confidently doing that because of the way you're learning by working on projects, so you can defend that any day, anytime. Now, I know all of these things I've been saying, it will seem impossible. Is this even true? So what I've done is attach some success stories. So right here, I have Ikmat, right? So Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom right there in UK, right? And she was able to transition to being a data analyst with the NHS. So I've also included a link to our testimonial, and that is something you can go through as soon as you have the slide. Right here, I also got an 18-year-old that was able to get a job after taking the data analytics program. If an 18-year-old with barely any experience is able to get a job, how much more you that have gathered a lot of experience, albeit not in the data analytics space, right? But you're able to fully understand the role of the data analyst and learn. So if an 18-year-old can do it, you have nothing absolutely stopping you. And he applied the same strategy that we use: learn, position, and apply. Right? I have right here, Pavel. Pavel was a teacher in Cameroon, and he was able to get a job as a healthcare data analyst. One thing I like about the data analytics role is you can apply it in every industry, right? And this is Pavel right here, to show you that after taking the data analytics program, it was able to get a job as a healthcare data analyst. So I have Abednego here, like from being unemployed to a quality improvement analyst in Canada after taking our data analytics program. So the link to their testimonies are right here on the slide. And what you want to do, it's just fill the attendance form, get access to them, and play them. Listen to them talk about their experience. I have a couple of them right here on my slide. So, how can you get started today? Right? I've literally talked you through what you need to go through to become a data analyst that stands a chance of getting a job. So, how can you get started today? The only way you get started is by joining our next cohort, which starts on the 4th of October. Right, so we have a course that begins on the 4th of October. And what would it cost you to get started? So the full amount, the cost of the training is 1,000 US dollars, right? But the most interesting part is we have a 25% discount ongoing. Okay, so instead of paying 1,000 US dollars, you get to pay 750 US dollars, a whopping 25% off. Right? And to the most interesting part, you see this 750 US dollars, you don't have to bother about paying the large chunk at once, right? Because we have monthly payment plans in place. So you can pay as many as 5 times. But the catch is this discount is ending on the 19th of this month, which is in 2 days. So my colleague is sharing the link to the payment platform right there in the chat, and I would walk you through how to secure a slot. So the 25% discount is ending in 2 days, which is the 19th. And as soon as it ends, the price increases. You wouldn't be paying 750 US dollars anymore. You'd be paying $800, right? So why pay $800 when you can pay 750? When you can save money, actually, right? So I would encourage every single person here, if you're looking to get started, to secure a slot, using the 25% discount. And I'll show you how you can do that right now, right? So my colleague is sharing the link in the chat. And as soon as you click on that link, as soon as you tap on it, it brings you right here, right? It brings you here, to this Analytics website, and you get to see 25% off, limited time offer for October cohort 2025. Now, the offer ends on the 19th, like I said, and that is in 2 days. Okay, so as soon as you click on that link, what you want to do is just scroll down a bit. Right, scroll down a bit and you get to see data analytics. So just click on data analytics, you see that, click on buy now. Right? As soon as you click on buy now, it brings you right here to this platform, to this tab, and then you see the enroll now button. Okay, so click on enroll now, and it will prompt you to, create an account, and that will take you less than a minute to do. So just create an account, and then it brings you right here to this slide. Okay, so I was telling you that we have monthly payment plans in place. So you see the $750, you can split that into 5 and pay $150 every month. So while you're still paying for the program in 5 months, you're learning. You're getting all the employability skills. You're applying to jobs. So it's an absolute win-win situation. So you are learning, right, while still paying. You don't have to pay the large chunk. Okay, while you're paying, trying to complete your $150 every month, you're learning. You're being taught how to apply to jobs. That is the 5 monthly payments plan. You have the ability of paying $150 every month. Then we have the 4 monthly payments. So with this, you get to pay $187.05. And in 4 months, you'll be done with the entire payment. Then we have the 3 installments as well. With the 3 installments, you just need to pay $250 every month, and in 3 months, you are good to go. Then we have the 2 installments and the full payment. I'm sure that some people must have seen $712, and you'll be wondering what's going on. So if you're looking to pay twice or once, there's a further discount for you. It all boils down to the net present value effect of money. So if you're paying twice, you get to pay $712.50, and you split that into 2, and in 2 months, you're able to complete your payment. If you want to pay once as well, you get to pay $712.50. Now you pick the payment plan that works for you, the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, or the one-time payment, and you click on apply discount. Right? And then it shows you a page where you're able to check the necessary boxes, and you're able to go ahead with your payment. So remember that this 25% discount is ending in 2 days. Right? So what you want to do is secure a slot as soon as you can, as soon as possible, so you don't have to pay more. Okay, so at this point, this is what is required for you to become a data analyst and start your data analytics journey with Analytics. So I want to take questions at this point. You've been listening to me all the while, and for some of us, we might have questions to ask. Right. So I think I can say, if you have questions, please leave them in the chat. I'm looking through now so that I'm able to provide response. Pauline says, may I please have an answer to this question? Is there a way of studying over a shorter time than 8 months if one has the time, Monday to Friday, full-time study? Absolutely, yes. Now, what we've done to this effect is, remember, you have the self-paced and you have your live classes. And what the self-paced will give to you is the ability to learn at your convenience. So you see the projects that you have to build, to have them on your portfolio. Since you have time from Monday to Friday, if myself, Priscilla, if I have the entire 6 months to give to it, right? And I can just decide to learn at my convenience, maybe do 1 hour and all of that. You that have shorter time, what you want to do is double down on your self-paced. So you might, if I'm dedicating 3 hours a day, you might want to dedicate 5 or 6. And in 2 months, you're able to complete the self-paced. What this means is you're able to have the project, you're able to learn, and you're able to build a portfolio and start applying to jobs. Absolutely. Now you just have the live classes, which happen twice every month. And this you can just show up for, right? Since you only have 3 hours every Saturday. So if you want to speed up the process, the way to do that is by putting so much time into your self-paced, right? And dedicating more hours to that. Pauline, I hope I was able to answer your question. So if you have any more questions, please leave them right there in the chat so I can take your questions, right? But the whole point is, I hope that we're able to secure a slot using the 25% discount. So Gabriel is asking, is it possible to attend both weekend live sessions? Oh no, it's not advisable to attend both weekend sessions because you'll be taught the same thing basically, right? So if you're attending the morning, there's no point attending the evening, right? If you're attending the morning, you're learning the same thing. The time you used to attend the evening, why don't you use that time to assimilate, go over what you've learned? right? Go through the project as well and try to digest it. So that would be my advice. So it will not be possible to attend both weekend live sessions, but by both weekend, do you mean the morning and evening class or the 2 Saturdays in a month? If it's the morning and evening class, no. But if it's the 2 Saturdays in a month, absolutely. So Rhoda is asking, what if you're looking for a job but have some portfolio and you need guidance to get the Canadian experience? Do you still need to pay for this or there's another session for that? So if you have experience already, right? And then all what you need is just project. So you mentioned that you have portfolio and you need to get the Canadian experience. So we'll have a sister company. You'll be working with a sister company because what we do here at Analytics is to teach you from the very scratch. So by this your question, I'm assuming you already have, I mean, you have a portfolio already. You already have some solid understanding. So what you want to do is you'll be routed to Amdari. With Amdari, you get to work on a lot more projects across different industries. You also get employability skills, and then you get the Canadian experience that you need so that you can begin to apply to jobs. So what I want you to do, brother, is to send an email to this email address that I'll be dropping here, right? So just send an email telling them, just mention this exact same thing and say that you've been, advised to go with Dari directly, and then somebody from Dari will reach out to you. Is it mandatory to watch all the course breakdown videos on Analytics dashboard? Absolutely, for your own benefits, right? For your benefit. But then if you have some things that you already know, you can just scratch some of them. But it is, I mean, a refresher wouldn't be bad. So if you ask me, I'll advise you to go through, just take your time. If you know the things that have been talked about already, you could just stay back instead of practicing, just listen through, refresh your memory, right? I hope I've been able to answer your question. Okay, so remember that the 25% discount is ending on Friday, which is the 19th of September. So what you want to do is secure a slot before it ends so you don't have to pay more. All right? Why pay $800 when you can pay $750? $50 is a lot of money, right? So that would be my advice to you. So we've successfully come to the end of today's session. I hope I've been able to take everybody's question. But if you still have some questions for me, feel free to leave them in the chat, right? I can do 1 more minute. Just take your question before we call it a day. But please ensure that you are securing a slot with a 25% discount. If you're learning the same thing, you can use evening session, learn more, or refresher or start in the morning. Absolutely. You can basically just learn and refresh, do a refresher in the evening instead of, going through the stress of attending a 3 hours live class. So Ruth, I'm sending the link to the payment again. All right, I've just sent the link to you. Just tap on that, secure your slot as soon as you can. Click on the link and secure your slot, with the 25% discount. So are there any more questions for me? Right? Ruth, confirm that you've seen the link and you've opened it. Just let me know if you've seen the link and you've also opened it. Okay, let me share that again. So I've just shared it now and I'm sharing it 2 times so you don't miss it. So I've just shared it again now, right? Have you seen it? Have you seen the link, Ruth? Oh, okay. So Marcia, this is not the attendance form. This is the link to secure a slot. All right. So Ruth, click on the link and secure your slot as soon as you are able to. All right. So with this being said, we've successfully come to the end of today's session. Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking all the beautiful questions. I hope you had value for your time and I hope you enjoyed every bit of today's session. So we're going to call it a close. Remember to secure your slot using the 25% discount, and I will see you in the October cohort. So please take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, thank you and bye for now. Cheers.